Our friend and therapist, Jonathan Carroll, helps us understand how the pandemic continues to raise our stress levels and, more importantly, how we can learn to find that path to inner peace. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, Angie.
Even with things loosening up, restrictions lightening up a bit, the stress is still there. I mean, I feel it myself.
Yeah, me too. Stress is no stranger to humanity. I think as long as we've been around, so has stress. But of course, as the world changes, as information comes to us in larger loads and faster speeds, and then of course we go through something like a pandemic, these stressors, I think, weigh on us. There's probably an argument that could be made that every generation or every epic period of time has gone through these same kinds of things, but this is what we're going through. So we can speak with some relevance to how stressful things are. And of course, I think we do our best work when we try to sort out everything that we're experiencing in one of two categories: those things that are up to us and those things that are not.
So what is up to us at this point? Because, in the stress and in the confusion, not always clear thinking here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think clarity of thought is one of the things that brings to humanity kind of a reflection of our best selves. But we, of course, lose that. In fact, clarity, focus, being centered, those are the things that oftentimes we sacrifice at the very first. The things that ground us and root us and make us unique as human beings, to be able to do our more complicated, high-reasoned thinking. That seems to be something that we punt in anxious times. There's a physiological reason for that. It's, of course, brain chemistry. There is the old lizard, or what some people call the monkey brain, which keeps us safe, teaches us to fight or flee or freeze, reproduce. It's those things that we have to do just to survive. But what makes us human is our ability to utilize what's called a neocortex, and that's the part of our brains that do that higher reasoning. And what we need to do, I think, is to, again, bifurcate or segregate those two areas of life, the things that we can control and the things that we can't. And Angie, frankly, almost everything is in that latter category. The things that we can control include what we think, what we say, and what we do. And while we can't control the situation around us, we can't control the pandemic, we can't control the symptoms, we can't control other people and whether or not they're going to get vaccinated, those things are beyond us. And we can spend a lot of time worrying about that, but our worry doesn't improve the situation. So I think we do our best effort to try to find our center, get some distance between our thoughts and our actions. And I think the best way to do that is through journaling, to write, and get some clarity about how we think. And then to decide for ourselves, rather than worry about what we can't change, why don't we focus on what we can do to change ourselves and what is going on in our own minds and in our actions.
Journaling is so therapeutic in every single way, but I do hear people quite often, and certainly in ministry, say, I'm not a great writer. That doesn't matter, does it, Jonathan?
It really doesn't. It's like people saying that they're not a good prayer. And then there's the text that reminds us that when we don't know how to pray, God through the Spirit prays for us. So in many ways, when we don't know how to write, it's not about the style, it's not about the grammar, it's not about the content. It's about having a conversation with ourselves. At the end of the day, that's what this is about. It's about listening to ourselves, talking with ourselves, and getting some clarity about what we think and what we believe.
As always, Jonathan, thank you for your wisdom.
Always good to talk to you. Thank you.
More Lifestyles for you right after this. Stay with us.